All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 45 versus 10 millimeter test. And once again, that is a huge thank you to our good buddy, Mr. John G from Texas. He actually purchased and supplied the ammo along with one of the firearms they're going to be using. So we really can't thank him enough for everything he's done. He's been a huge help and a really big supporter of the channel. So thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you. So for the 45, that one is a Liberty Civil Defense 78 grain plus P. Here's what that thing looks like. It does have a massive hollow point cavity. Your nickel plated brass, and is rated 1900 feet per second. And for our 10 millimeter, that one is also the Liberty Civil Defense. That one has a 60 grain bullet. Same nickel plated brass, and is rated 2,400 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So for a 45, we are going to be using our brand new Glock 21. That is the one that Mr. John G got us for the channel. We did end up picking it up used, so it did come with a few extra goodies. So for barrel and barrel length, we are going to be using a 5.5 inch Lone Wolf extended ported barrel. And without those ports, it's right around that 5-inch mark. And for 10 millimeter, we are going to be using a Rock Island Ultra FS. That one also has that full-size 5-inch barrel. So we'll be going through our gel. Those are our 10% calibrated blocks. Do have our catch block behind that, so a total 22 inches of gel, 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front, and like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head-to-head. First one up will be that 45 auto. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. All right, so impact velocity on that one was 2,331 feet per second. So that's actually quite a bit higher than that rated 19. I might shoot one off camera just to make sure that that's legit, but that's actually pretty darn good. All right, and there's that hit. We got a perfect shot on the blocking. You can see right down that cavity and a huge star pattern so far. So I'm kind of believing those numbers. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, check that out. That is a massive amount of energy dump for sure. So it looks like it pretty much came in and exploded. And then you can see, check that out. It's veering completely off to the right. So normally, you know, our normal paths do go straight, but this one was definitely not following that. But you can see it settled down pretty quickly. It's quite a bit of fragmentation. Then we did come out on the right side of our block, so that's kind of interesting there. I have not found the base of that slug, but we'll look around for sure. But let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the top at our widest spot. Like always, we'll do our cross sections later to get a little bit more accurate measurement. But for now, we're just over 3.5 inches. So that's actually pretty impressive, especially for 45. Normally it's a big old heavy, slow moving slug, but that one was booking it for sure. But here it is from the side. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. It looks like as soon as it hit, it exploded in there. It only carried that energy, let's see, before it started to settle down really quick, right around 5 inches. So it dumped all that energy within 5 inches, which is pretty crazy. But you can see that fragmentation and then where it started to veer to the right. But definitely pretty impressive for sure. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the side. And from the widest spot from the side, we're exactly the same, just over 3.5 inches. So definitely pretty impressive. And then once again, you can see that track where it just completely took off. But man, those numbers are pretty high. Like I said, towards the end, we'll probably shoot a couple just to see what kind of numbers we are getting, because that did seem a little bit high. But let's set it for that 10 millimeter, see how that one does. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 2,571. So I'm starting to believe those numbers, you know, because this one was rated 24, I believe, and we definitely got almost 200 feet per second more. So that's really good to see, and that thing was extremely loud, even with this, you know, Ear Pro on. But really good to see so far. All right, and there's a hit on that one. Looks like I got another perfect hit. Check that out. That block is barely hanging on right there. See right down that cavity in a huge star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, that is some nasty stuff for sure. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, just like the last one, it exploded in there. You can see all that fragmentation going out. It did flatline pretty quick. You can see it did curve a little bit to the right, and luckily we were able to catch that. That is the first one we've been able to catch so far, and we have tested quite a few of these so far, so that's awesome to see for sure. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here. I don't think we have a blowout, but it came darn close. So from the widest spot, we are at 4 inches. So definitely a little bit more than that 45, but man, that is crazy for sure. And let's check it out from the size. Hopefully you guys can see this one, but man, that is insane. So it looks like pretty much on impact, that thing exploded in there. Didn't carry that energy too far. It literally dumped it within that first few inches. Let's see on this one. Exactly the same, right? That 5-inch mark, that's where it started to flatline to settle down. And then you can see that path going through, and there is that base. So that is awesome. We were finally able to catch one of these things, and we definitely blew out our table. So wife's not gonna be happy about that, but that's all right. That was definitely worth it. So from our widest spot from the side, we're at just over, actually just at 3 3/4 inches. So a little bit more from the side than the top, which is good to see. But man, that is insane, the amount of damage that's going on. Really, really impressive. So we're gonna check these out. Actually, I forgot to measure how far we actually went into that block. So at our leading edge, we are right at 10 1/4 inches. So definitely not the most, but you know, just the amount of damage that thing's creating, it just insane. I definitely wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that thing. But let's check these out one more time from the top. And before we do that, check out our table, man. We're gonna need a table sponsor here pretty soon, because every single time we're out here blowing out tables, we're not as you know, crazy as Kentucky Ballistics, but man, we are having some bad luck with these things. All right, so here they are one time from the top. So the one going away from us is that 45, and the one coming towards us is that 10 millimeter. I did end up flipping the blocks, so hopefully you guys don't get too confused, but just because I didn't want that 10 millimeter, you know, to interfere with the track right here. So pretty darn crazy. So let's check that 45 path out. So you can see pretty much on contact, it exploded in there. You can see all that fragmentation going all over the place, and it curved super hard right on this part because we did flip it. It is going left, but it curved super hard, and then it did end up exiting that block. And here is that 10 millimeter path, same thing, right on impact. That thing exploded in there. There's a ton of fragmentation, and hopefully you guys can see those kind of you know, twisting spiral cuts going through the rest of it, where it started to flatline where that base is sitting. But very impressive, and very cool that we're finally able to catch that. So we're gonna pull this one single round and see what it looks like. At the end, you know, we'll pull out all the fragmentation like we always do and get our still shots and all that, but for now we're gonna pull this slug and see what it looks like. All right, check that thing out. Looks like it definitely got some really good expansion, and it's pretty awesome that we're finally able to catch one of these things. So we have tested this with 3 different calibers so far, and this is the only one that we've been able to catch, so that's really cool. So check that thing out. You can see it definitely got quite a bit of damage still, even after it ripped all those petals off. It is basically just a flat disc. Kind of looks like a sweet tart on the size of it, but you can see those rifling marks, but literally just, you know, super flat. So once they blow those petals off, they're not very aerodynamic, so they kind of just go wherever they want. I'm thinking that's the reason we're not, you know, able to catch them. It's a little bit harder. They kind of, you know, veer left, right, up or down. So no rhyme or reason, but definitely some nasty stuff. And at those velocities, that's definitely rifle velocities for sure. So that's awesome to see. Definitely a pretty good looking little slug. We will do one time from the bottom so you guys can get an idea what that thing's looking like. And last time from the top. So like I always do, guys, we will get our still shot, slow-mo, all that good stuff here at the end. I will actually do retain weight on these ones too, just because they are super light and they usually lose quite a bit of, you know, pedals and stuff. But once again, thank you, Mr. John G, for everything you've done to the channel. Really appreciate all the support. You know, the Glock 21, all the ammo you sent. We just can't thank you enough, my friend. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. All right, so here's that 45 cross section. You can see how nasty that thing is. Check that out. Like I always say, it looked like rifle rounds came in, and those were moving at rifle velocities, or at least SBR velocities, enough to create this kind of damage. But definitely very impressive. You can see these huge, nasty splits, tons of fragmentation. I did remeasure these. They are peaking right at 4 1/4 and averaging right at that 4-inch mark. So that is super impressive. You know, that's usually right around where we're getting those 41 to 44 mags. So very impressive stuff. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right and this top is the left. So you can see pretty much on impact what's going on. Those things are exploding as soon as they come in, leaving a tons of fragmentation. You can see that huge path going through. It's not very long. It's only about 3 inches. But, you know, the amount of damage that's going on in that 3 inches is pretty impressive. And then right after that, they are flatlining, and those, you know, flat discs are just kind of just veering off. But check that out. That is insane. Bunch more fragmentation going on. Just super impressive. Same on this side. You can really tell what's going on here. Came in, exploded, huge path, and once again, tons of fragmentation. I will pull all these frags out here just so we can get, you know, retain weight. This 45, we weren't able to get the disc or, you know, the flat base, but I know we still got at least a little bit of weight. And that thing, you know, I'm not sure if it was correct, but I don't know, it was pushing close to 1,000 foot-pounds, or, you know, over 900 foot-pounds, which is just insane for 45. It could have been just the way that the, you know, the bullet color going over the chronograph, or we're getting these super high velocities. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I did test a few off cam just to see if we were getting those crazy high velocities, and they were, you know, pretty consistent. So crazy stuff. So let's see. See if we can do one more quick angle, because this is insane the way that these things reacted to this gel. But you can see right there, just a huge splitting. Let's see if we can get this lighting right. Huge splits, man. Just crazy amount of damage. Tons of frags. You can see one of them already fell out, but I would definitely not want to be on the receiving end of that one. That is some nasty stuff. And regardless of the penetration, the amount of damage it's creating within those first couple inches is just, yeah, bad stuff for sure. But there we go. That one was that 45 shot. All right, and here's that cross section for that 10mm shot. Pretty much same story here. Just an insane amount of damage. The way that this one looks in here is just absolutely crazy. But you can see all that fragging in there. Huge damage. And once again, this one was going at rifle velocities over 2,500 feet per second, closer to 26, which is just crazy for a handgun. This one was almost 300 feet per second more than our last, you know, 45 shot. It was a little bit lighter bullet, but still, man, the amount of damage it's creating is just insane. So I did remeasure these. They are peaking exactly the same, right at that 4 1/4 and averaging right at that 4-inch mark. So very impressive stuff. So let's cut this open. All right, and here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. But literally same story as that last one, man. Just on impact, they're exploding in there and just creating a ton of frags. The way that these are advertised, it's only supposed to come off in about 6, 7, 8 petals. But this stuff is literally just turning into the smallest bit of fragmentation. And then, of course, that disc is staying solid, which is good. But we're definitely getting a ton of petals that are actually coming off and just chunks, which is insane. You can see these huge deep cuts going down in there. A lot more frags. Same on this top side. Came in literally less than that 1/8 inch mark. They're coming in just exploding. You can see once again that huge path going through. This one did veer off a little bit as well, but luckily we're able to catch a slug with that one, so that was actually pretty cool. And like I said before, I tested, you know, I think 3 different calibers in this stuff, maybe even 4 so far, and we have not been able to catch that slug. So that is really exciting for sure. But check out that damage, man. That is insane. Crazy, crazy stuff. So let's do one more quick angle with this one as well. Maybe. All right, yeah, check that out though. Just, you can see all that fragging just going on. But check out that track, man. Literally, it's just insane the amount of damage that's going on in this stuff. I'm liking the velocities that we're getting from it. I'm not really, I don't know. It's definitely a cool round. It's cool that we're actually getting those type of velocities. I would like a little bit more penetration, but you know, with this amount of damage, you really don't need that penetration. It's really all you need. Check that out. That is just crazy. Just looks like hamburger meat in there. Just really tore this stuff up. So once again, thank you, Mr. John G, for everything you've done. You know, sending the ammo, donating the firearm, just everything you've done, man. You've been such a huge help and one of our greatest supporters. So we really appreciate you so much for doing all that. And once again, that one was that Liberty Civil Defense 60 grain 10mm going almost 2,600 feet per second. Thanks again for watching, guys.